broadcast.
Ahmadu Bello, a Prince Royal, was born 6th of December 1910 at Raba Village, Sokoto, northwestern Nigeria. His father was a district head and heir apparent to the Sultanate throne from the house of Usmanu Danfodio, a religious and social reformer who brought the Habib dynasty under the Fulani Caliphate in the beginning of the 19th century. Ahmadu Bello raised the bar of political consciousness in participation when, in 1944, he engineered the establishment of the Northern People's Congress (NPC) as the first political party in northern Nigeria and the turning point for politicians in the region before independence. History will not forget Ahmadu Bello for his charisma and political sagacity, which provided easy passage for his kinsmen to assume administrative positions in Nigeria's independence era. The distinguished elder statesman and Sokoto has a face on his country's 200 naira currency as a mark of honor to one of the architects of Nigeria's independence. Western Spring Television identifies Ahmadu Bello as a watershed character in history.
Arrested, affected, sound. What do we see? What do we say? Flowing from the spring. Fact A to Z. Check and confirm. Eva is pounding current events. Traveling down from the business gist. The global happening. The info. Fast and fast. Little facts are fled. Within seconds, not what flew across borders are fired. Stories short and long, wrapped in bundles of words, broken and dissected as it is, except misheard. This is the news as it is.
Our pangolins are in crisis. They need our help. Hundreds of pangolins are killed for the meat and scales every year. If we continue this way, we risk losing them forever. Tell your family and friends to say no to illegal meat on pangolins because protecting nature protects us all.
Turn it up! It's the Wild Wild West, and Western Spring Television is pulling out all the stops to make sure that you don't miss out on every of the fun and happenings around you. Yup, we've got you covered because your girl got all the juiciest tidbits and entertainment news from around the world. Cross over to the chocolate side of entertainment. Join me, Chocolate Cassie, on Each Century as we take you into every bit of the juiciest news, fashion, music, movie updates, and other trending conversations. Together on the show, we'll get personal with your favorite celebrities via phone call, Zoom, or even live here in the studio. Each Century could be shown on your TV screen on Western Spring Television, channel 190, only on StarTimes.
Good morning, people. Welcome to another beautiful day right here in the city of Osun State, Nigeria. Rise and shine, and definitely we will shine forth from wherever it is we are. I'll start today's show with a quote from Nelson Mandela, where it says, "Greatest glory in living lies not in never failing, but in rising every time we fall." That's to tell you that it doesn't matter your mistakes, what you have done yesterday. All you've got to do is learn from past mistakes and ensure that today is better because of the lessons you have learned. It's TGIF, thank God. It's Friday, and indeed, we are going to make it count. My name is Evelyn Ohiola, welcoming you specially to this special edition of Morning Spring, where we talk about issues concerning us as a people. We look at social political issues, speaking to policymakers, politicians, social advocates to help us have a hang and deeper perspective, wider insight of what is going on. Femi Ojo is not here, but sends his love and regards. I'm going to be driving solo this morning, but with you, our very esteemed audience, I know that I am not alone. Remember that I am a Liverpool fan. We never walk alone. We'll go for this break because the papers are in, and we're here to tell you what the front pages of the different national dailies are saying. Do not go anywhere. Right, today I'll begin with the Guardian newspaper this morning. The Guardian newspaper today, Friday, 29th of November 2024, and it's on World AIDS Day. Rise and spread. More HIV-infected kids slow race to zero scourge. And you can see some figures right there on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. About 140,000 Nigerian children are currently infected by HIV. 22,000 new mother-to-child transmission of HIV yearly. And Nigeria contributes 25% of the global burden of HIV mother-to-child transmission. If you ask me rather, these figures are really alarming. 25% is the contribution of Nigeria to the global burden of HIV mother-to-child transmission. And Nigeria contributes 46% of new infections among kids in the West and Central Africa, 18% of global figure. 35% gets pediatric treatment against low set standard of 95%. 15,000 deaths recorded among children yearly, 300 of which occur yearly. I mean, these figures are alarming if you ask me. Especially for the kids. These are kids who really do not know what is going on. They're just coming to life, as innocent as they are, and they already have a burden, a cloak around their neck. And, World AIDS Day is on Sunday, 1st of December 2024. And this day is actually to raise awareness on HIV and AIDS. The theme for this year 2024 is Take the Right Path, My Health, My Right. That's the theme for this year. Like I said, these figures are alarming. Away from that, Senate moves forward with tax reform bills as critics call for caution. We learned that the tax reform bills passed the second reading in the National Assembly, and critics are calling for caution. Remember the controversial tax reform bills and as to how the northern region, especially the northern leaders, northern traditional political leaders, have kicked against this tax reform bill, saying that it does not promote unity, does not promote equity in the country. Shan Migration, FG tells fresh foreign-trained medical doctors. Shan Migration, FG tells fresh foreign-trained medical doctor, and you can see the photograph of the Minister of Health there, Professor Aipate. People would say it's not about just by telling. According to the Nigerian parlance here, they say it's not just by show workings. People will definitely gravitate towards a better life. They will gravitate towards an environment that can give them security, job security, that can give them future. So it's important, it's pertinent that the federal government ensures that the environment for our medical practitioners, is conducive enough. They can practice in a place that gives them a better future, that gives them job security, and also provides them with the necessary equipment, tools they are to work with. It's not just by telling them to shun migration. I tell you, for as many as those medical doctors, a whole lot of them already have that at the back or probably in front of their mind, to jackpot. So it's not just by telling them to shun migration. Away from that, witness tells court how he collected $400,000 for Emefiele. Global wages are growing inflation, says ILO. And Amnesty International accuses police of killing 24 protesters in Kano. Authors remember the bad governance protest. Amnesty International is accusing the police of ending the lives of 24 protesters, and they say that these are just the numbers that they can account for. A whole lot of people were unaccounted for, but for those that they can account for, it's 24, and so many others too were injured. Emphasis on individual success weakens political action, says Osibajo. Okay, that's the former Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor Oluyemi Osibajo, saying that we should not place emphasis on individual success. We should look at it as Nigeria wins, irrespective of whoever is at the end of affairs. We should not try to bring down that person or praise that person. It should be a case of whether we are moving forward, Nigeria wins. If we are not moving forward, if we're in progress, it means Nigeria loses. Probably with this mentality, we would ensure that we put everything in place to move forward as a country. Lastly, from the Guardian newspaper this morning, electricity subsidies skewed against masses, Minister affirms. That's all from the front page of the Guardian newspaper this morning. And moving on, I would go to Daily Trust. Let's see what we have on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper this Friday morning. Wrapped in rowdy session over tax reform bills by the proposal, scale second reading in Senate. Reps in rowdy session over tax reform bills. And, there are reports that the presidency is trying to lobby the National Assembly to ensure that these tax reform bills becomes acts, they become laws, so that by January 1st, 2025, the federal government can begin to run with these reforms. But it seems there's division in the National Assembly, especially majorly from legislators from the northern region. And a whole lot of people have made a case for the government, saying you cannot stop the consumption of some products in your own region and still have access to taxes collected from regions that encourage or promote consumption of these products. So it's one thing Dr. Paul Alaje, while we had him on air colloquium some days ago, called an inequitable equity. That's what he calls it, an inequitable equity. Yes, we're preaching equity, but it is not fair to those regions or to those states who promote the consumption, who allow the free trade of these products in their own region. Your own region is against such products, is against the trading of such products. Then why should you have access to monies generated from the sales of these products? Away from that, influential leaders move to resolve ACF crisis. By the way, the picture on the front page of the Punch of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning is that of our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, observing the guard there in French alongside the President of France, Emmanuel Macron. Remember that the President traveled to France alongside his heartthrob, the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu. This also elicited some controversy in some quarters, people asking, when will Mr. President really sit back at home and look at things inward, instead of just jetting from one place to another, moving from one country to another. People who spoke for the president said that he is the #1 marketer of the country, so he has to continue to go to the country so that he can bring more FDIs into the country. But then there is also the question of the ease of doing business in this country. How easy is it for industry to spring up, not just to spring up, for industry to be sustained, for companies to maintain their financial stability in this country? People have spoken to the hike in electricity bill. They've spoken to the hike in petroleum, in diesel, the price of diesel and petroleum. They've spoken to the hike in transportation as a result of the high price of diesel and petroleum, and this really would not make many industries stay. So why is Mr. President going from country to country trying to woo investors into Nigeria when he has not put his house in order? People say you put the horse first before the cart, but it seems the president is putting the cart before the horse, and definitely there will be no movement. But the president is in front and is, representing the country as the #1 citizen of Nigeria. We can only wish him well and also pray that God grant him the wisdom to tow in the right direction, because he is in the saddle right now for next two and a half years thereabout. He will still be the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, all things remaining equal. And away from all of that, police killed 24 during End Bad Governance protest. This is according to Amnesty International. And marketers lift 251 million liters of petrol from Dangote refinery in 10 weeks. Marketers lift 251 million liters of petrol from Dangote refinery in 10 weeks. There have also been questions of, the new rehabilitated, I should say, Port Harcourt refinery in Eleme. How competitive will it be to the private refinery of Dangote, although the capacity cannot be compared? Dangote is about 650,000 barrels per day capacity, and the rehabilitated Port Harcourt refinery is 60,000. It's actually 210,000 barrels per day, but the one in operation now is that of the lower capacity, the 60,000 barrels per day capacity facility. And people are asking what that would bring, what change that would bring in the country. By the way, Petran has said that the Port Harcourt refinery is set to sell 75 naira higher than that of Dangote refinery. Dangote refinery is to sell at 970 naira to a liter. They brought it down by 20 naira some weeks ago, from 990 to 970. But according to reports, the Port Harcourt refinery will be selling at the cost of 1,045 naira. And there's this question in the public space of what use is the opening of the refinery if you would not sell below that which Dangote is selling. Why should we be excited? Why should we jubilate at the commencement of operations at the Port Harcourt refinery? Away from all of that, court sacks Benue APC caretaker committee. Court sacks Benue APC caretaker committee, internal wrangling in Benue APC, that, and you get to see that in many states, even at the center nationally. Many political parties are not devoid of internal wranglings, and that's because wherever you have people, interests clash. Even if they have the same ideologies, sometimes the way to go out these ideologies might be different. Interests may clash. That's why you see, even within a particular political party, there will be fightings, there will be misunderstandings, internal wranglings, people that position or do not want someone in a particular position. It's just part of life. It's part of life, I should say. Top corner of Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Let's see what we have. Abductors of toddler siblings demand 300 million naira ransom. Abductors of toddler. When you say toddler, it means a little child in the den of abductors. How does that make anyone feel? Even if you're not a parent, even if you have not you have no responsibility for any child as it is. There is a way it makes you feel that a toddler that should be with his or her parents is in the captive of abductors, kidnappers. And not just this toddler is also with, his or her siblings. And the abductors are demanding 300 million naira ransom. When exactly are we going to leave this conundrum? When exactly are we going to break from the shackles of kidnapping here and there? I cannot imagine the turmoil, the emotional torture the parents of these children are in right now, because in a way they may feel as failed parents. They're not able to their children. These are some of the reasons some people move out of the country, because they believe, I want to give my children a better future. I want a place for them that is secure. I don't want a situation where I would fail my child as a parent to protect him or her, so I'd better go to another country that can give me that security. So I believe that this, according to this constitution, that is the priority of government, to protect the lives and properties of its own citizens. But should we say this particular administration is failing in doing that? These are kids, for crying out loud. They are in the captive, they are in the den of the abductors. 300 million Nigerian naira to rescue them. It's sad. All right, two pitches, investments in food security, solid minerals, others. And Nigeria slums in latest FIFA ranking. I would have loved to have first take on this particular one. We hope we get up soon. Nigeria slums in latest FIFA ranking. That will be all from Daily Trust newspaper this morning. And of course, the newspaper review segment for today. And on the conversation this morning, we are going to be looking at the scorecard, reviewing the scorecard of Governor Ademola Adeleke. He came into the office on the 26th of November 2022. This is 2024, and they had the anniversary ceremony and the commissioning of some projects days ago. But then let us look at the true reality of what's on ground. Is it true that Governor Adeleke is doing well and the Osun people are applauding what he is doing? Or it's all a facade, just to make the outside world think that this administration is working? We are going to be having stakeholders in the House this morning from two opposing views of what they think about the administration of Governor Ademola Adeleke, who has been in the driver's seat, driving the people of Osun State, according to him, to a great destination, to the promised land. How far have we gone? How close are we to the promised land? These are the questions we'll be asking and interrogating our guests this morning. You do not want to miss the conversation. Sure, you stick around. This is still Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. Sit back. We'll be back.
Here are 5 amazing fun facts I bet you never knew about Christianity.
Number 1, there are 2.4 billion Christians worldwide.
Amazing fun fact number 2. The Bible is one of the best-selling books of all time, with more than 100 million copies sold every year.
Most Christians believe in heaven and hell.
The Bible is the most translated book in the world, with more than 3,000 languages.
Amazing fun fact number 5. Most Christians throw science out of the window without realizing that most scientists are Christians. Hello, I am Pastor Steve Akinwumi.
And I am Dr. Adeoye Oyewole.
Join us as we highlight and discuss day-to-day issues pertaining to the day-to-day living of every Christian.
Issues in Christendom shows every Sunday on Western Spring Television, channel 190, only on StarTimes.
Up to 75% of all new human diseases come from animals. Ebola, anthrax, and monkeypox all came from animals. And as more dead wild animals being transported to our cities, we risk introducing another disease outbreak. This will affect our health, economy, and well-being. So say no to illegal bushmeat. Protect nature, protect us all.
Since assuming the mantle of leadership in our state of the Living Spring, Governor Demola Adeleke has left no one in doubt about his avowed commitment to the overall development of the state. The footprints of his transformative agenda span through education, transportation, health, staff welfare, social infrastructure, and others. Living Spring Update will bring 1.7 and Western Vision with CTC, where Governor Adeleke's development agenda for the state and viewing pleasure. Needed from the testimonies of civil servants and retired the Living Spring. You will discover how Baba's administration is driving the economic growth of the state. Stay informed and engaged with Living Update, where we will delve deep into detail of ongoing infrastructural projects, new initiatives in healthcare, education, and other impactful strides being made across the state. Tune in every Wednesday on Western Spring Television at 6 p.m. and every Saturday on Rave 91.7 FM at exactly 2:30 p.m. You can follow us on all our social media platforms at Western Spring Television and at Rave 917 FM as we tell the story of how Governor Adeleke is shaping Osun into the beacon of development and opportunity.
Living Spring Update is a production of the Office of the Spokesperson to the Governor, Governor's Office, Osogbo.
This iconic African presents the narrative of a man destined to exert an imperishable global influence in Western education. His was a story of a freeborn, captured and sold into slavery. He was born in Osogbo, a Tijuba village in Okiogun axis of southwest Nigeria. Samuel Ajayi Crowther was a foundation student of Fora Bay College, Sierra Leone, the foremost university where the pioneer set of native Africans were educated. Samuel Ajayi Crowther's greatest contribution to humanity was his translation of the Holy Bible into the Yoruba language. The man who offered the Yoruba dictionary was also credited with the translation of English classic hymns into Yoruba and Ekre languages. Samuel Ajayi Crowther's private residence in Agri, incidentally, first story building in Nigeria, is an archival museum dedicated to the memory of Africa's first bishop. Western Spring Television identifies Samuel Ajayi Crowther as a watershed character in history.
Evening, Ohiole, King Eve. How are you today?
I'm good, I'm fine, I'm alive.
I really feel like she's not giving the right answer to the question. When one asks you, how are you? And you said, you're saying, I'm alive. It's very annoying, seriously. How are you? I'm fine. I feel I'm fine will be the right answer instead of I'm alive. Not that I asked you if you're dead before.
Go and check up his 14-year-old, 15-year-old, 16-year-old. Everybody, they are extraordinarily sexually active.
I feel is being unnecessarily hyper when it comes to the issue of sex, because we talk about other topics and he feels so reserved. He really doesn't have anything much to say when it comes to other stuff. But when it's the issue of sex, I believe he's being unnecessarily hyper. That's when I have to pick an issue with him. I mean, it's just being unnecessarily there when we're talking about sex. It's like a child. His mom just got him his favorite chocolate or ice cream. Very happy. Doing as good doesn't separate this girl down.
When it comes to finance, when you support your husband financially, you need me emotionally, you need me spiritually.
Hate the too much heat to that gender. I need you spiritually, I need you mentally. I can get these things anywhere with money. If you go by the topic was because marriage favors the money. I know how many jobless women marry every Saturday. They are saying it favors you, favor. Are they vague so?
Growing up, when I was in the world, we've heard of things.
Now you know.
Well, MC Too Much said it looks the same when I was in the world, And the last time I checked, well, it looks a bit innocent, facially, but deep down, Is it actually applicable? Not in the world now. As long as you're alive, you're in the world. So everything we are begging when you talk about that. I don't want to hear that. Next time you talk about like it's always.
I think we have a problem with you saying ladies are champion, and that's the problem. Always trying to attach too much importance to that.
It's giving insecurity, it's giving low self-esteem, it's giving a blatant display of egoism. Because at the end of the day, a man who is secure in his words, a man who is confident of who he is, will not really be disturbed as to whether women are being referred to as champions. I mean, at the end of the day, Joseph's a really great guy, but whether he likes it or not, women are champions.
I am Josh Tufani. I'm a comedian and I like to make people laugh. But it's funny that we're losing our unique goals. We only have around 100 left and they are threatened by habitat loss and traps set for them. So we say no to illegal bushmeats because protecting nature protects us all.
Arrested, affected, sound, found. What do we see? What do we say? Flowing from a spring. Fact A to Z. Check and confirm. Ever expounding current events. Traveling down from the business gist to the globally arising happenings, to the sportsness, to the bittersweet info. Transmission. Vast and fast. Detailed facts. Seconds, nuggets of words that full of the fire. So it's shut down, wrapped in bombs of words. Broken and dissected as it is, except misheard. This is the news as it is.
James Ajibole was the one who obtained his first degree in classics from Nigeria's Premier University of Ibadan. Born September 13, 1930, the orator and the polyglot spoke impeccable English, French, Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba languages. His fine diction placed him among classical orators and public speakers like Cicero, the Roman orator. This attribute earned him the prefix Cicero of SLK. He authored Kaduna Boy, an autobiography, Detainee's Diary, Constitution, and the People, amongst other books. Balege was a colorful politician, elected governor of Oyo State in 1979, and appointed a federal minister in 1999. He was a pioneer founder of Afefe, the Yoruba Socio-Cultural Political Group. He invested his political sagacity to propel the group to the height of political leadership and decision in the southwest of Nigeria. Bola Ige was assassinated on the 23rd December 2001. His murderers are yet to be arrested. Today, Western Spring Television identifies Bola Ige as a watershed character in history.
All right, welcome to the conversation on Morning Spring. Today, we'll be analyzing the 2 years in office of Governor Ademola Adeleke, 2 years of occupying the Bola Ige House, and, from economic development to infrastructure to health to education. We'll be examining the governor's policies and the impact it has made in the last 2 years, looking critically at the challenges and also lessons learned from his administration, what he has done, what he is not doing, what he should be doing at the time, and what people are requesting of him at this time. We are joined in the studios this morning by someone from side, I should say. We have Honorable Oladele Bamiji, the Senior Special Assistant on Media to Governor Ademola Adeleke. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Ma. Good morning, West.
So, thank you. I'd like to say, how do you feel that your principal has spent 2 years in office? That's you being his appointee, and also as a party man, the PDP, the People's Democratic Party, has held on to the ruling party in the state for 2 years. How do you feel? How does it feel for you?
Thank you very much. I feel good. That's one promotion that I feel good. I feel good. I mean, I thank God Almighty But before that, I want to thank the good people of Osun State for standing there. Yes. In democracy, if you don't have the support of the people, no matter what kind of plan you have, you may not be able to achieve it, or those plans may not be able to come forward because they are not supporting you. If government have been railroaded in the first instance, if he has not been truly elected by the good people of Osun State, we might not even be here celebrating 3 years in office. So it is not just that we are celebrating the achievement of Governor Ademola Adeleke in 2 years. We are also celebrating people of Osun State. They deserve celebration for their support, for being unique in the Nigerian polity, that when Osun people speak, they stand by the words. That is why we are celebrating this time. That yes, let us showcase what we have done and celebrate. And so personally, to answer your question, as a continue of His Excellency, I'm proud to be part of the journey so far.
Yeah.
I'm proud to be part of a man who loves God, who brings the air of the love of God and the fear of the Almighty. I am a Christian. I love the Muslim part of him. I love the Christian part of him. He's a liberal man. I love working with such a man for these past 2 years. So personally, I'm proud.
Yeah.
I'm good. But don't let me forget too, having congratulated the good people of Osun for making the right choice 2 years down the line. I also want to congratulate the Rave family,
Thank you.
the WSTP family, for coming this far too.
Yeah.
9 years is not a joke. Definitely, you're also part of the success story so far.
Thank you.
If I want to come here, I used to remember everything. That doyen of Rave, that doyen of Western Spring Television.
I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you, Honorable.
So I congratulate this family. Thank you for shaping our polity. Thank you for making you the subject of attack at times. Like last week or so, thereabout, people were all over me. The director of media, the just to Mr. Governor, there's this argument on FM and all that. Someone was broke to attack the governor.
We're just doing our job.
I told them, please, you are just doing your job. They recorded the program and sent it to me. You have to take action. You have to do this. Because I understand what your job should be.
Yeah.
Yes, I did my own. I have to apply my political sense and apply my professional sense too. And I make bold to say that you are doing well.
Thank you.
This 9 years, you deserve commendation on behalf of the government led by our governor, His Excellency, Governor Ademola Jackson Adeleke. I congratulate you. I congratulate our brother, one of the finest we have in Osun State, the ambassador of Igbomina Kingdom, Dr. Femi Adefila, and all of you in this family.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Honorable Bamji. Now, there are people who believe that, they've asked the question, is there anything to celebrate? You mentioned earlier, while answering that question of how you feel, that Governor Ademola Adeleke is a man who loves God. And, he was described as, and he's even still described as a dancing governor. People believe that Governor Ademola Adeleke will celebrate even nothing, because he's a joyful man that just loves to celebrate. So they believe this 2 years anniversary is just one of those celebrations of nothing. But because the government loves to celebrate, it's a joyful man, so he's celebrated, but there's really nothing to celebrate. How do you react?
You don't have to be making the devil advocates.
I'm not saying what people are saying.
I'm not referring to you as the devil. Those who are confined to the box of position in the state, they have to do their job. We don't have a choice. They have to be seen to say something.
Yeah.
And that is the job placed on their hands at this time by the good people of Osun State. By the grace of God, I'm very, very sure, and as I said, attested to by the good people of Osun State, that the governor has surpassed even the expectations of so many. It is not a crime to be joyful, as you put it. It is not time to be a happy man.
Yeah.
That you are in the position of authority does not mean that you have to be sadistically egocentric and let people see us the boss. Let me put on this Abacha-like look. Let them know I'm the boss. No, democracy does not connote that. You have to mix your way.
But is there anything to celebrate?
Yes, so many things to celebrate. The governor came into office on the premise of 5-point agenda, top of which is the welfare of the workers. That came to be because of his conversation with the state politics as a whole. Yeah. What we have to do first, and that is why he placed that agenda. It placed that on as topmost on this agenda.
Yeah.
Because if you take care of workers in Osun State, it is not just because you love them. You are taking care of so many things at the same time. You are taking care of the economy. You are taking care of so many homes. That is where we find ourselves today. And that is why it is easy for the governor. Hey, let me look at the backlog of salaries pulled by the previous administration. They don't have any reason to do that. But yes, for whatever reason, during their time, they felt that they have to butcher the take-home pay of our people, brothers and sisters, papas and mamas, who have served, especially their states with their dark hairs, but are now are made to suffer through their gray hairs. Right. So the governor felt that those starting was paid. Okay. Because we were heading to a point where the starting were going to be signed off. All
right. Let me pause your thoughts there because we have in the studio this morning your friend. I should put it that way. Kari Ayotunji is in the house. Hey to former Governor Gboyega Oyetola. How are you doing today? Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Evelyn. Thank you so much.
Honorable Bamiji has always said that you have to pay a fine for always coming late.
You always come late.
That's by the way. Let me move over quickly to Honorable Ayotunji. I'll pause your thoughts, Honorable Bamiji. Now, Mr. Ayotunji, your party is in opposition, and it seems the APC went missing in action for the very first year Governor Ademola Adeleke was in the saddle, and people have credited that to the fact that the person who is the leader of the party, that's former Governor Gboyega Oyetola, who is the Minister of the Republic of Nigeria, got appointed as minister by President Bola Tinubu, and so the party loyalists focused on Abuja instead of focusing on Osun State as it were. But it seems the APC is alive to its responsibility as opposition. So I'll put that out there. You might want to react to that. But I'd like to ask what you think of Governor Ademola Adeleke's 2 years in office.
Well, thank you, everyone. And I want to congratulate the people of Osun State. At least if there's anything we have achieved as a state, democracy is revolving.
Okay.
And we are also having a very peaceful transition from PDP to APC, from APC to PDP. That's the reflection of democratic development, and that the state is growing democratically. And that is why when you see any government in power, they sit very tight because they know that the votes of the people really can't this time around. So I congratulate the people of Osun State for that. But having said that, it will be unfair and it will be hypocritical to say that the governor has not done anything in the last 3 years. But as our party rightly said yesterday, the admission of the civil senator Ademola Adeleke, it's like a motion without a movement. And when you see some of the fantasy they showcase as an achievement, you wonder whether government can stand in isolation, because the difference between government and any other institution is law, process, and procedure. And that's why governance has a standard of evaluation. So in the last 2 years, if you look at the resources that have accrued to the state, vis-a-vis the performance of the governor, the projects that have done so far, you will have no hesitation to conclude that it's a government with motion without movement. And when you also look at the threshold of governance, which is transparency and accountability, you also agree with me that this government is a government with emotion without money, because some of the institutions of government, that is executive, legislative, judiciary, and some other executive institutions like Office of the General, Bureau of Public Procurement, they are not there for fun. They are there as a government institution to ensure that we have transparency and accountability. Most of these institutions are just like a paperweight that are not functioning. So when you look at that, you will not also rate the present administration better in that regard. And let us also talk about communal peace, harmony in the state, which is fundamental, because we can only thrive as the people in an atmosphere of peace.
Yeah.
We can only thrive as a state in an atmosphere of solidarity, because the founding father of Osun knew that Osun is an urban state. You understand? I doubt if there are any states in this country that has the qualities, the new qualities of Osun, because in Osun that you see a very big town across the state. You see Ejigbo, you see Igbo, these are big communities, and what you have been enjoying is communal peace, solidarity, and spirit of oneness.
Is the peace in Osun threat?
Yes, but this administration, when you look at the last 2 years, it's like this administration is setting the entire state against one community, which is yes, I'm going to analyze it. For the first day that Governor Ali Ademola came into power, that was the day siblings, families were set against them because of the traditional stool. The monarch policy in the day, the street vacant. It's not only vacant, but it was vacant as a sort of violence. Understand? Perceived to be instigated by the executive order of Governor Ademola Lady. Go to Ibadan, go to Ire, and many other communities like that. Like by loss. You understand? Up to today, those communities are not stable. You see siblings falling like a ram in that community, and you are also experiencing what is happening now. The controversy has surrounded the relocation of Idu-Osun, understand, airports to Ede. This is a very serious issue that we are contending with, and we pray that God will give Governor Ademola Adeleke wisdom to manage the issue. But some of us doesn't have other states like except Osun State. Okay. And when you look at the lopsidedness of the political appointment, you understand, and even the civil service appointment, we can say there's 40 to 50% of all appointments in the state. That is not the spirit. That was not the intention of the founding father of this state. Are you getting me now? Yeah. So when you now come to the transparency aspect of it, it is this government that they will do any project without process and procedure. As of today, we insist and we still maintain and we still challenge them to provide the record that the flyover that they are constructing in Okefia and Lameku were not advertised up to today. And when we challenged the commissioner for information, they brought an advertisement which was published in September. That advertisement was a reminder. And when you are issuing a reminder, that means there must be an original procurement advertisement. Up to today, we are still challenging them that bring out that copy of newspaper where you advertise. That is what they call transparent, and that's why we are not surprised where the Vitalizer company were winning the contract of billions of naira as a road contractor. So that's why we are not surprised that those who won the contract, you understand, were for rights of the contract. No, we have no problem about that. But our problem was that, okay, do they have the competency? So, because it's a public fund. And one of the principles is that there must be transparency and accountability. But so far so good, you cannot say the governor has not done it. So,
okay, I'd like to ask you, Mr. Ayotiji, when you wanted to start your statement, you mentioned the fact that you cannot say, and also the APC cannot say that Governor Adeleke has done something. So I'd like you to actually pinpoint the things you think he has done. Yes, you've made some issues of the things he's not doing, and we are going to cross-examine, we're going to interrogate those issues. But I just want you to pinpoint some of the things you feel Governor Adeleke has done in the last 2 years.
Yes, we are responsible opposition.
Okay.
And the fact that we are an opposition party does not mean that we should not see the good aspect of any government. You cannot deny the fact that in Osogbo today, Governor Ademola Adeleke is constructing roads. We might have issues about the cost. We might have issues about the quality. We might have issues about the durability of those projects, but definitely all of us are going to be the beneficiary of those projects. In Osogbo here, we have 2 or 3 instances of roads that
So are you saying you're commending a project that is not durable, that is expensive, outrageous expensive, and that is considered a threat to life, because you mentioned the durability, and of course if it's not durable, if it's not up to standards, then the lives of Osun State people are at risk. Are you commending such a project?
No, there are 2 different things. What I'm saying is this: it's like when you are not blind, when you have your eyes seeing what somebody is doing, you say it. You might have issue with what that person is doing, but you have to acknowledge that, okay, this person is doing this, although in a very different way, although in a substantial way. For instance, now look at the continuation of Obasanjo Adedemi road from Okebale to Elisha Garage. Go and witness it. The moment they are the road was even bad. 2 weeks later, you understand? They are repairing the road last week. They are the last week.
So the quality is questionable.
Yeah, it's questionable, and those are the issues. So you cannot say Gunaleke has not done. Yes, he has not done many things, but at least within this limited power, he has done few things, and that's why I said you can't give what you don't have, because governance stands on fundamental principles, and like those fundamental principles are missing, definitely you cannot get it right, and that's the point we are making.
Okay, let me move over to Honorable Bameji. You have listened to what your friend Mr. ITG has said, and I'll ask you the question: why is Governor Ademola Adeleke the governor of Ede and not the governor of Osun State? Why is he concentrating on Ede, that is his country home, rather than ensuring that the dividends of democracy is spread across all boards equally? Instead of putting more in Ede, we have the issue of the airport being relocated from Iwosun to Ede and some other projects too. So how do you respond to that?
Thank you very much. I welcome my friend again, the perpetually common. I congratulate you too on the birthday of your heartthrob. May she live long.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, you see, my friend, it's difficult. This guy is very brilliant, but you see, it is not easy to be brilliant in error. When you are the kind of opposition in Osun State, you are perpetually confined to error. You just have to say something. Governor Ademola Adeleke is doing something, but he's doing it this way, he's doing it that way. But they have been forced. Even Ayotuji, as vociferous as he is in opposition, is here to acknowledge the fact that our governor is doing something.
Well, it's questioning the quality of the products by your governor.
Let me. He will question. If he doesn't question it, that why is he here? He should be with his wife celebrating.
Okay.
Let me start from the question of why is the governor of Ede. I don't know where that is coming from. First of all, let us expunge this insinuation that because someone comes from a particular town, that town should be banished from development. Perhaps just as they neglected Ede when they were there, because they accept the fact that Ede has been stronghold of the PDP. They have nothing doing there, appointing 3-4 commissioners.
So you accuse the APC of neglecting Ede while they were
No, I'm not accusing it. It's a statement of fact. You can bring out what he did in Ede aside happens of people.
Mr. Ansunji, is it true that your administration...
I'm not sure you have to give him
Ede?
When he has his time...
Let's say yes or no. I'll come back to you.
That's not correct.
Okay.
So if a governor comes from Ede, that doesn't mean that, because Ede has been apportioned the governorship seat of the state, and that town must be expunged for development. That would be wicked. As of today, there are so many towns, there are so many local governments that are benefiting from the developmental programs of the state. Even while I was coming to this state, to this station this morning, I wouldn't know. I couldn't get to this place with my car. I have to park Avaro because a developmental project is going on here. I don't know whether this place is okay. I don't know whether the developmental strides at the state university in Osun is also in Ede. My friends should know all that. What the government has done, the buildings, the the hospital, the gigantic hospital being built for that institution. I don't know whether that is also in Ede. I don't know in Ila, where you have like 3 commissioners, where you have a House of Representatives, where you have a Senate in the same time of Ila alone. I don't know whether that is also in Ede, because he spoke about appointment. Don't let us because we don't know what to say. Say that everything now that belongs to in terms of development. No, no, that would be wicked on the good people of that axis of the state. That is even an insult on them. Yes, they are doing all this now. They are struggling to say they want to stage a comeback. I'm very sure, unless they want to say that, let them go to hell. We don't need their food. Why must you be castigated? Like, I'm not sure I remember a point, a time when I came here, either here or any other media station, castigating the former governor for coming from Iraq. And it is, I don't want to, it sounds somehow in 2024 Nigerian going forward that is because somebody from there. That place must not be developed. That place with 2 local government, that is with ancestral history of Yoruba land. And so the place must be neglected wholesale because the government comes from there. That is you look at the airport. I don't want to speak much on that because I'm very sure the technical personnel will address that even today on one of your platforms. That you see our people from Ido-Osun, Yoruba will say want to bang on loju, but maybe because they want to sleep. Airport is not just a motor park that you just establish overnight and go to sleep. But
Ido-Osun had been designated for the airport before the administration of Governor Ademola Adeleke.
It has been designated, but why has it not been made an airport before today? There have been 2 successive administrations of APC before we even begin to talk of a 3-year-old administration of PDP. We must, by now, if we are living in a sane society, if there will be any protest from Ido-Osun, they should get their cane. Get this kind of my friend, beat him very well.
That's violence.
Yeah, no, it's not violent. Because you will ask, why don't we have airport in Ido-Osun before now? Within 2 successive administrations in Osun State.
So what informed your decision to move it from Ido? I mean, just give us details.
I just mentioned that establishing airport is not a tea party.
We know.
If we are celebrating that we have reduction in hear mishaps, there is a reason to that, and that is observing and respecting state measures as regards establishment of airports. Today, Nigeria doesn't joke with if it is just an inch of safety measures pertaining to establishment of airport. And that will tell you that it is not just a state thing that you want to establish airport. Let me just get the bulldozer and get the runway as low as it might be. I took off from Ibadan sometimes ago. Somebody sat beside me. And when the airplane took off, that man maybe is well versed in aviation thing, and he was like, this runway needs to be extended. The man said it the way the plane took off from Ibadan. And today, so I reflect to what that man said. Today, Ibadan runway is being extended. That is safety measure. You don't want to compromise safety of human beings. It will not be a pride, a joyful thing, a thing of joy for our people, for a territory like Ido-Osun too. They say that they have an airport and they begin to record accidents. Here, accident is not a joke.
So it's a safety measure.
I've summarized it.
Yeah.
We hear it from our technical person who is a member of the committee. I think that should listen.
Yeah.
But for me, that's how I summarize it. Safety measures and puncturing the political trap set against the people of Israel.
What do you
by our
mean
people?
by
Yes,
trap?
if because they put them to sleep. They seated the people of Israel. Where they were, you want to establish an airport in a particular location, and that same location you deemed fit to seed for the establishment of a Air Force base. When you go to Ibadan, for instance, there is hardly from Alaki Adegbai, there is hardly, no matter how porous Ibadan is, you hardly feel any kind of erection that can distort the taking off and landing of airplanes in Ibadan airport. That's part of the safety measures. You within the vicinity of the airport, everywhere must be safe. Okay. Now that is the same space where the former governor Oyetola seeded for the establishment of a Air Force base. For the establishment of a airport.
Honorable Bamiji, you have cited safety measures as the reason for the relocation of the airport from Idu-Osun to Ede. For the relocation of the airport from Idu-Osun. But there are questions as to why must it be Ede? No, there are other. Why can't it be Ilesha? Why can't it be Ife? Why not another place entirely?
It's not just Ede. Check around Nigeria. Yes, it is not just Ede. If we want to host the first man in Nigeria today, it will land in Osogbo. That's one of the considerations. If we want to hold our Baba, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it is safer, less costly to host it very close to Osogbo. That is the norm. And this yes, the new site now, it is not just because because our people don't have any other job than to put them on the spot. It is all there. The expanse of land allocated for this new airport now, expands from Ede down to Ijesa territory, and therefore bringing those people from that access to on board. But let us even assume without considering that it is even in Ede. Ede, the proximity and all that. I don't know whether there is any Ede and Osogbo. They are like doing this our age-long folklore. Adendele or Nukiti, they are just holding themselves, playing on their own. They are like brothers and sisters.
You are citing the proximity of Ede to Osogbo as another reason.
It is even one of the basic reasons. Yes, you want, let's say, God forbid, there is an emergency for the president of Nigeria to come to Osun. So you first of all go to. Meanwhile, the governor did not. The committee saddled with the responsibility of establishing that airport. They didn't just stop at just taking the site to Osu as the main site. Right. They also looked around. Where can they get the standards?
Okay.
Being put forward by technical officers. Mark my word, technical officers of Ministry of Aviation. That's why I told you, establishing a airport is not just what you say. And so to establish a helipad or here. There are safety standards that must be met, including that international organization, because anybody can come through here to Osun, and we don't want any such story to emanate from our own end. Let us meet the standards and let's go take the rest.
And then put your thoughts there. Over to Mr. Ayatollah. You're listening intensely to what Honorable Bamiji has been saying. We have to move on to other issues like health and education, by the way. But I just wanted you to react to what he has said concerning the relocation of the airport from Idu-Osun to Ede. He cited safety measures and says this were not just put together or concocted together by the cabinet of Mr. Governor. He says it has to do with professionals. Technical committee was set up consisting of professionals who looked at it and says, no, we cannot have this airport at Idu-Osun. And Ede is the proximity of Ede to Osogbo will also inform the choice of Ede. How do you react to that?
Thank you so much. Let me first say this because my very good brother is trying to create an impression that our party always criticize whatever goes to Ede. I think they can never love Ede like us, and they can also never love the family the way we love the family. If you are talking about the love of the family, it still remain late. When PDP rejected him in 2014, you understand? We accepted him wholeheartedly, and we restore the political potency of that dynasty as a party. We must do of that. So it is not the question of whether, but the question we're asking is this. And you remember, in 2020, when Governor Adegbeyega came to power, one of the first towns and cities that he constructed was Ede. It's still there. Barracks to Kigada. The road is still there today. And that meant this. We have more than 50 plans in Osho that are calling for infrastructure development. So you cannot, because you come from Ede and now consider virtually everything. It's obvious. You can see it's very obvious. Go to the civil service today. Ask about the numbers of the permanent security that are from Ede. Go and look at the government. Ask for the numbers of the SSCSA that are from Ede. You understand? Whereas what we are talking about is that you must become like a governor and begin to abuse office. So no, please let's.
You have mentioned that before.
So
let's have all the time here.
No, don't interrupt me. You understand? Don't interrupt very fast when it's come to discussion. That's why as a professional, I don't interject. I see it as an decent conduct. When you interject, allow him to discuss. And when you finish your thought, I also respond after to respond. On the issue of the airport, you should notice one thing about this government. They have one unique quality. The moment they have what they want to do, they will work towards answer. When they wanted to remove the rector of President Kiri and replace him with an Edema, there was no manner of allegation that was not leveled against that man. You understand? Just to remove him and install their own man from Ede, they broke all manner of rules and procedure. You should also remember fairly recently that when they want to deal with the former governor, you understand, by destroying his legacy, not that we make so much noise, you understand, they came out with the infrastructural deficiency of Olaya flyover. Until we said, okay, let us even see your report. Up to today, and I challenge him here, up to today, they have not presented any technical report. Yes, they have erected the barricade that prevented heavy truck, you understand. But what I'm saying is that you must not, your tongue must not be faster, you understand, than the reason. That is you will have. For instance, now, it is when you announce that you are relocating the airport to Ede that you begin to roll out the report of your technical committee. What should come out first is the report of your technical committee as a basis for relocation. You should know that this airport has history. You understand? It was there since 1932. And what I'm saying is that all the previous administration, Oyinlola, Aregbesola, Oyetola, it was stupid. You understand? For allowing the airport to stay here. Look, the Ministry of Aviation are the regulation authority of aviation. Good. I have not seen a report from Federal Ministry of Aviation today that airport cannot. Secondly, there's an Air Force base there today. When you are the authority when it's got to airport or air strike, Air Force should be the better authority because they fight war on the air. You understand? They are in charge of air armament, they are in charge of warplane, and they cannot be stupid. They also locate their base there if the place is not safe for aircraft to land and fly safely. You understand? So what you are saying in essence is this. Why are you just coming about technical report after announcing? People are not making noise now. You understand? You wouldn't have come out that you have. So please, they will just walk straight to the answer. And that is why we are concerned. And that's one of the issues we have with this administration. Governance is a process. It is not a family affairs. It is not a private business. Governance includes discipline.
So you think Ademola Adeleke is running Osun State as a family affair?
What? Look, how do you describe a situation whereby you want to relocate a airport that the previous administration have invested billions of naira on, and it was after the announcement that you are now coming out with a technical report?
Are you in any way accusing the Adelekes of pocketing Osun State?
What are you? Look, what I'm saying is this. Governance is a process. The moment you don't follow that process, you have turned governance to private affairs. Because all those people, they are not there for fun of it. They are there to perform certain roles. Right. And when you don't allow them to perform certain roles, governance has been reduced to mere private business.
Let's move over to agriculture. Honorable Bamiji, you know, the APC produced a statement. They wrote out a statement on the 2 years anniversary celebration of Ademola Adeleke, and also their own fears. They brought out their own statements on different sectors: health, education, infrastructure, and they made mention of agriculture. The ambassador, the governor, according to the statement, the ambassador, the governor, for wasting the state resources to procure audio tractor. They call it audio tractor, in which 1 out of 100 claims have been bought by a whooping sum of 8 billion naira, were ridiculously unveiled as the whereabouts of the said machines are unknown to the people of the state. How do you react to that?
Thank you very much. It's still one of those things we are used to with them.
Let's start this way. How many tractors were supposed to be procured?
Over 100 tractors.
How many?
By the grace of God.
Have not.
We will not run this government upside like a one-man show that we are used to. Let us just impress people for the sake of it.
Yeah.
No. You do things diligently. You do it as the capacity of the state can cope with. That's what you see in that agri sector. Or you want to fly, you have to have a runway. So first of all, at least take some steps before you begin to fly. Even the airport we are talking about, that's one of the basics that affected the establishment of the airport at the Doshun. He mentioned, because I wanted to address that, he mentioned that the administration expended so many billions of naira. I don't know. After this program, take your cameras, take your cameramen along, go to Doshun and establish if a billion, not just how many billions now, if a billion naira has been spent on that site. How? That is because I believe I put the question. Why did not have airports at Doshun if they were not really deceiving the people of that? They have is, to me, it appears they had the report in the custody. They knew there was not going to be airport here. And they hid it from our people because they wanted to affect their foods.
This topic of airports. Let's focus on agriculture.
It will also take us to the agri sector. Because when they were there were even tractors procured during the government of our amiable father, the former military general, Oyelola. They sold all those tractors.
They sold it?
They sold it. They sold all of them. We should have met those ones, repair them, even if they were faulty.
So when
let's even start from there. That, please, Bedore, either this and that, Elisha East, Elisha West, begin to use this before we come up with our own. But we have to start all over again.
Okay.
All their own was this and that's why they called zero. Tam, Greek, this and that. And maybe that is why we met zero. We never knew they were even really sending us message that they were zero government. This, tractor.
I thought
so when we now came,
I mean, you just spin it around.
Just let's keep it like that. So when we now came, there's a government does not. You have to set things right before you begin to take off on any program. What do we need to do? How do we start? What do we have? We have nothing in agri. That is the basics. Now you begin to criticize the government that felt that okay, we need, according to the projections, we need over 100 tractors in Osun State. But don't wait until we are able to put the whole of the 100s. No, let us start from this.
So how many do we have? 31. Where are they? Are they used?
What they started before that, we didn't even procure any. We brought them out, unveiled them. But by the time we were unveiling it, we were all brought off by one farmer or the other. My own late father was a farmer.
Okay.
When it is around June, July, August already, planting season we already know in this part of the world. So why will you be wasting fuel? Why will you be wasting government properties when a season was almost passing away?
So the tractors are waiting for the next planting season.
Were being kept. Okay. Let's work towards the next planting with PPP arrangement of this government. Let's put this tractor to effective use, not just because it is good. I'm a media person for this government. it will be good for me. Yeah, let's take one of the tractors to his farm if he has any. Let's go and do some video clips and post. But this government will not deceive anybody like they did in their own time. Let's enter new planting season and let's see whether these tractors maybe we should go and keep the tractors in my friend's house so that you will know that the tractors are still intact. My brother, your tractors are still with us. Nothing to do them.
I said the tractors are still available, but they are waiting for the next planting season.
After this program, I can take you there.
We have to go because we are pressed for time, so we have to run. But let me take Mr. Ayotunji part in short. Here is Ademola Adeleke. Do you think it fits 4 years of Governor Gboyega Oyetola? And also, in what areas do you think Governor Ademola Adeleke can do better in Osun? So, irrespective of politics, we are all for Osun people and Osun development. Very quickly.
Yeah, let me also react to this.
Please, we have less than 1 minute to go, so you have to make it very quick.
Well, the issue of the tractor, they have not been consistent with figures. And one of the issues we have with the tractor is that, okay, yes, it's not a Greek gift. You understand? To the state of Osun. It's a public fund.
Yes.
Let us know the amount you put this tractor. Up to today, except they will tell us tomorrow. Your PP arrangement, it is through private sector driven initiative. How do you want to do it? Sometimes they say 114, at the period they say 77, at the period they say 31. So that is one of the problems we have with this administration. You know, transparency is zero. Okay. So, but in essence, yes, when you compare, you have to compare. What was the resources that was accrued to the states when Oyetola was there? You understand? What Adeleke has secured as federal allocation in the last 2 years? It's not that what is title of what Oyetola secured in 4 years. But you cannot see there's no presence of those infrastructure in the state. And we always challenge them. Mention one road that's longer distance with Tosobo that Oyetola consulted. But they only like to beg question and say Oyetola will be a selling point campaign.
What do you think Governor Adeleke should focus on?
Yes, most importantly, Governor Adeleke should prioritize the communal peace and development of Osun. Okay. Osun state belongs to all of us. All right. And it must not be to belong to a section of the state. Okay. That is the vision of our founding father. I want to be seriously I offer. Because when you see that trend, it is dangerous. He said that today, it can be anybody tomorrow.
All right. Thank you so much. We have to promote Osun first. That's what Mr. Ayotunji is saying.
Deliver your message.
And that's the show this morning, people. Thank you for being a worthy companion. And special thanks to Honorable Bamiji for your take, your submission, your thoughts, and also defending the government that you represent
It's very easy to do. When you have a performing governor, it's very easy to defend.
Honorable Oladele Bamiji is senior special assistant on media to Governor Ademola Adeleke, and also we have Mr. Kehinde Ayotunji, who is former aide to former Governor Gboyega Oyetola. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time this morning on the show.
Thanks for the honor.
All right, people, whatever has a beginning surely must have an end, and we have come to the end of the show this morning. We'll make a return on Monday for an interesting time on Morning Spring. Until then, have yourself a fabulous weekend. Remember, Spring Trends comes up right after this broadcast. My name is Evelyn Ohiola.
Our music is getting music over here at home. Angolans are threatened by illegal bushmeat trade. They are sold and consumed in our cities, and their scales are used for medicines. Just as we have preserved our culture, let us protect our pangolins. Let us say no to illegal bushmeat, because protecting nature protects us all.
Turning it up is the Wild Wild West, and Western Spring Television is pulling out all the stops to make sure that you don't miss out on every of the fun happenings around you. Yup, we've got you covered because your girl got all the juiciest tidbits and entertainment news from around the world. Cross over to the chocolate side of entertainment. Join me, Chocolate Cassie, on Eccentric as we take you into every week of the juiciest fashion, music, movie updates, and other trending conversations. Together on the show, we'll get personal with your favorite celebrities via phone call, Zoom, or even live here in the studio. Eccentric will be showing on your TV screen on Western Spring Television, channel 190, only on Starlight.
The British Empire was the largest and the most powerful in the world. At its zenith, the empire embraced a quarter of the Earth's land surface and imposed her imperial majesty's rule on more than 458 million people across nations and continents. The empire took off with overseas possession trading posts established by England, spread over 3 million kilometers between 16th and early 18th century. Like previous empires, the British Empire began to crumble on its weight of overstretched territories and growing unrest in our various colonies. Today, the British Empire no longer exists. What is in place is the Commonwealth of Nations, a loose association of sovereign states which recognize the King of England as the titular head. Western Spring Television identifies the British Empire as a watershed empire in history.
Since assuming the mantle of leadership in Osun, the state of the Living Spring, Governor Ademola Adeleke has left no one in doubt about his avowed commitment to the overall development of the state. The footprints of his transformative agenda span through education, transportation, health, staff welfare, social infrastructure, among others. A weekly diary on Rave 91.7 and Western Spring Television, Channel 190 Star Times DTC will extract Governor Adeleke's development agenda for your listening and viewing pleasure. From the bustling market to innovative agricultural initiatives, from the testimonies of civil servants and retirees to the cheers of artisans across the state of the Living Spring, you will discover how Governor Adeleke's administration is driving the economic growth of the state. Stay informed and engaged with Living Spring, where we'll delve into details of ongoing infrastructural projects, new initiatives in healthcare, education, and other impactful strides being made across the state. Tune in every Wednesday on Western Spring Television at 6 p.m. and every Saturday on Rave 91.7 FM at exactly 2:30 p.m. You can follow us on all our social media platforms at Western Spring Television and at Rave 917 FM as we tell the story of how Governor Adeleke is shaping Osun into the beacon of development and opportunity.
Living Spring Update is a production of the Office of the Spokesperson to the Governor, Governor's Office, Osogbo.
Pangolins help us by eating ants and termites. But they breed very slowly. Just one baby every 2 years. And if we continue to eat them, they will disappear. And we'll have more ants and termites that destroy our food and crops. And we don't want to do. So please, say no to illegal bushmeat. Say no to pangolins, to monkeys, to crocodiles, to snakes. Because protecting nature protects all of us.
Here are 5 amazing fun facts I bet you never knew about Christianity.
Number 1. There are over 2.4 billion Christians worldwide.
Amazing fun fact number 2. The Bible is one of the best-selling books of all time, with more than 100 million copies sold every year.
Most Christians believe in heaven and hell.
The Bible is the most translated book in the world, with more than 3,000 languages.
Amazing fun fact number 5. Most Christians throw science out of the window without realizing that most scientists are Christians. Hello, I am Pastor Steve Akinwumi.
And I am Dr. Adele Oyewole.
Join us as we highlight and discuss day-to-day issues pertaining to the day-to-day living of every Christian.
Issues in Christendom shows every Sunday on Western Spring Television, Channel 190, only on Star Times.
Welcome to from the edition of Spreads Right Stream Television. Here we talk about everything trending. What's trending, who's trending, where they're trending, and we get to take reactions. My name is Evelyn Okiola. Like I always tell you, keep doing what you're doing. Good things, by the way. You never can tell you can be on our big screen someday. Today, you know, I do not do it alone. Today, Femi Ojo is missing in action, but we have a worthy replacement. Should I call it like that? No, temporary sub.
Exactly.
Football. Welcome on board, Temitope Ajijola Oluwola.
Thank you so much. It's so good to be here.
Yeah, you know, sometimes I feel like your name is a sentence. You know, how do you feel it? You know, on forms, Temitope Ajijola Oluwola. Man, that's long.
Yeah, it is.
But you know, the meaning. When you look at the meaning, then you won't put everything in and let them know that that's your name.
And that's exactly why I decided not to drop my surname after marriage.
That's good. Let's move on now, shall we? Very first story this morning, we hear that Cotonou degree certificates obtained from 2017 onwards, that is from 2017 till 2024, are to be declared invalid. All individuals employed by the federal government in such certificates to be dismissed immediately. NYSC already sacking staff members, and I mean, this is wild, I should say. And if we can have that particular circular on board by the National Youth Service Corps of the approval of the recommendations of the Interministerial Investigation Committee on Degree Certificates Milling, and it says that it is regrettably, I'm going to read part of that particular letter. It is regrettable to inform you that the Isai University, Benin Republic, which you attended and obtained BA International Relations between 2014 and 2017, falls within the above stated category. So in compliance with the federal government directive on the above, your appointment as admin officer 2 with NYSC is hereby terminated with immediate effect. Okay, so this is a sack letter, a dismissal letter from the NYSC to one of its staff members, and you can see it was signed by the director, HRM, for the director general. Well, let's take reactions at this time. Busayo Agbola says, persons who have evidence to show that they legitimately earned their degrees should approach the court. It's unfair to dismiss every other person's hard work because of a few bad eggs. And Usaini on X says, people that are saying it is not fair are the bad eggs in Nigeria. If you want a working system, you should follow the due process. Students spending years in school to get a degree and somewhere will pay less than 500K to get it in 1 month. Employing this type of people is a big slap to the country. Stop being emotional and face the reality. If Nigeria is to start working, many civil servants will be exposed from their ugly and corrupt certificates. Odogu Anyoma says, I think so many people got their legitimately and shouldn't suffer this fate. I know Nigerians that even own schools in Benin Republic. This bandwagon, in fact, would not go well on a lot of innocent people. And Bill's Collection says, you just wake up in the morning and you decide to declare 4 to 5 years of someone's hard work invalid. Tope, what do you think?
Well, they're all right. All of them. Yeah. Everyone who has commented are right. But we have to just look at it on some basis. The first thing is, I really think it might be hard to really get them to say or to prove that these people got theirs legitimately. Because if you go to these schools, most school wants to tell you we aided and abetted all of these actions. So it might just be difficult. But then they are right for thinking, you know, for those people and saying that it's really unfair to throw all of them on the bus. But as it is, Nigeria also needs to take a stand, and that's a proactive measure. It's really, really commendable. Although it was captured correctly, it is regrettable that they have to do that. But I think that if these people are going to be sacked, there should be some level, at least, compensation for them. And then if they really need the certificates, I think they should just go get some other, you know, certificates. But then
do you think they should allow them probably to go back to school, and if you have a certificate from
yes, I think that should be given. If you can still go back and get other forms of certificate legitimately this time in maybe in Nigeria or a recognized school, a school that is trusted, any institution that is trusted, then you would be exempted. But for those who cannot read through all of those, then some level of compensation should be given. They shouldn't be sacked out.
And we'll say sorrows, prayers. Let's move on to the next story this morning, and we're going to Rivers State. Governor Fubara begins to spend 85,000 naira minimum wage in Rivers. I think for all the states so far, it is Lagos and Rivers State that are paying the highest. Lagos also 85,000 naira. The agreement was reached during a closure meeting presided over by the governor and attended by representatives of organized labor under the auspices of the Joint Public Service Negotiating Council in the state at Government House in Port Harcourt on Friday. And after the meeting, the head of the Rivers State Civil Service, Dr. George Owaike, said the government would begin payment of the new minimum wage in November 2024. So congratulations are in order to civil servants in Rivers State. I mean, according to what the head of civil service is saying here, is saying they will get their payments. It will reflect in the November salary. Let's see a reaction from people. Victor Frank Ejo says, we're solidly behind you, Mr. Governor. Finance Norma says, it's great. Leaders match words with action. It's 5,000 naira buys a bag of rice only, but it is a good starting point. Leaders don't have to wait for federal debates on minimum wage before doing the right things. It would be nice to have a state announce 150,000 naira as the minimum wage. Adewale Damilare says, great. He has no choice but to carry his people around. Only with this can he turn Wike into a political vegetable. The Master Don says, after Alex Otina, the next working governor I know as of now. All right. Let's have your take.
Well, for the 85,000, I think it's quite commendable. Where we see some states sticking with 70,000 naira, and some states have not even yet started paying, like Katsina, Zamfara, and Cross River. They're not paying, they've not started paying, and that's why they've not announced payment, and then that's why Labour is threatening to go on strike. But I think it's really commendable. But those that are always quick to peg, that's just for a bag of rice. I don't think if at 2024 you're earning, or you're about to start earning the minimum wage of 85 or 70,000 naira, 71 as states of it. I don't think you have any business buying bags of rice. And so whatever it is that is what you're supposed to do right now, you have to really do things as minimal as you're supposed to be.
Within your own level.
Means, exactly. Just do things, minimally so that you can have, headache. I think we should just give government sometimes, we should cut them some slack.
We should. You think we should? Because a lot of people have said that, anything is.
But if Labour agrees, I'm just saying that is what we can now. You really need to just let it breathe. I mean, 3 years down the line, I think put pressure on Labour to increase that because it will be invalidating a few years. But then, for now, just let it go.
We should let it go. All right. So talk things that we should cut government some slack. Sometimes we should applaud them. Rivers paying 85,000, Lagos 85,000, Osun 75,000. But sometimes I wonder, these are still the states that during negotiating, they're saying we can't pay 60,000. We don't have the means to pay 60,000. We can't pay. No customer is not sustainable. We cannot sustain it. And you see the states coming out with even above what the national says they want to pay. States have been saying they want to pay 72, 75, 80, 85, and I'm wondering where did the money come out
from all of a sudden? But I think that sometimes putting pressure on some pressure points, it really generates the right reaction. And so that's another cause for applaud, if you say.
All right, move on to the next story this morning, and it's a Speedy Palava. Speedy Darlington's lawyer accuses Boy of threatening him following his rearrest. I do not know what's up with Boy and Speedy Darlington. I really do not know what's up with them. I don't know where this Palava would end, but it seems Speedy Darlington might really have stepped on the tail of the cobra as it is this time, because it seems Burna Boy, when you say I don't top your matter, I did on top now, me and you today. All right, current Deji Adeyanju, his lawyer says Burna Boy behind harassment of Speedy Darlington by the police. This is someone who has been singing against oppression and forming Junior Fela, now oppressing Akwe. Let's take reaction. Mike Real on this one says should try advising his client to stay on his lane and know his level. You don't start fights and also decide how it will end. That's double jeopardy. And Rosemary says, what about all this time he left his mouth loose? Ovie of Delta says he was arrested the first time and was held and warned to desist from his previous actions. Then he went to America and started the rubbish again. He should be sued and allowed to face the music. And lastly, Big_Clems says, they should face this case and start calling Burna Boy names. Now arrest them, arrest Akwi, no be harassment. Your thoughts?
Well, it's that when it comes to all of these entertainers, there are always underlying issues that we do not see. Then as fans, as Nigerians, as citizens, we play judge and jury. It's sometimes good for the grams, so actually the banter. I think that's what really keeps us going as Nigerians. I think those things will always be there. But for, talking about the actual thing, when we want to talk about the moral grounds for all of this, I don't think that we can really know the full extent of all the roots of all these issues. We should just play fan and fandom and all of those things. We should play it right. Sometimes let us just allow things to go smoothly. Let's not fill the field. And so we can have peace. At the end of the day, we're still Nigerians.
All right. That's coming from Mama Tokpe. Advice there. So I'd like to ask this question before I go to my fourth story this morning. How long can you watch? For how long can you watch a Nigerian movie? Like
a stretch. Yeah. It depends. Nigeria has really moved. I think that the movie industry has really improved over time. And these days, right, there are some movies that are really worth the time. I think can do 6 hours, and that would be like maybe 3 movies or 2, depending.
6 hours,
I think.
Okay, we have a young Nigerian, Ayodeji Fatula, who wants to go 160 hours watching Nigerian movies. Let's watch this video. Come back to the reaction.
As great as Nollywood, I see a lot of people say to my ear, I don't do Nigerian movie. It's saddening to me, and I want to change that story, and I want it to always stand as Nigerians always stand on
Our job is to support it, which is part of the vision of Lagos State. It's not the theatre alone supporting it, it's the Lagos State government, it's the Ministry of Tourism, the culture.
Unfortunately, I'm back in the Lagos Theatre with you and your family. It's happening live at Igodo Theatre, Lagos, where all odds will be beat. Join us, join us as we get cinematic legacy. We run for 7 days. There's snooker, there's chess.
Ayodeji Fatula doing 80 films in 160 hours. That's someone trying to break another record there, Guinness World Record for the longest movie watch, in a stretch, longest film movie marathon cinema, as it plans to watch further 80 films for 160 hours. Thoughts? You can do
I was thinking about this. Getting your name on the GWR is over. It's over.
People are not resting. People are not quitting.
I mean, well, you can.
It's entertainment.
Exactly. And if you don't have, if it takes leave, a break from work or whatever it is it's doing, and he wants to devote his time, I think anything just to get your name on the world map, isn't it? And then there's no better way to put your name right there if you're not identifying with your root. And it's trying. I think it's a lot really. His name there. So put non-movies or at least indigenous movies.
I right the fact that it's doing Nigerian.
Exactly.
Nigerian.
Yes. And then if we don't promote our own things, I don't think there's no better way to promote it. And I think those movies, especially the ones it's going to be out there. I think it should. This is what I want him to do, though. I think he should really sit down and get some of the best so that this movies to be helped, or the movie producers and all of that to be helped.
So we're waiting for Ayodeji Fatula to do his 80 films in 160 hours. And, it's going to start, I think, on the December 8th to 15. Yeah, Sunday, December 8th to 15, 2024.
Wow.
All right. And we closed up with our last story this morning, and it's with a video. These French people, I don't understand their motive. I don't understand what they want to do. But you can see this French folks singing a P-Square song. Let's watch. We'll come back to take reactions.
Don't give him my testimony, I'm killing him, I'm giving him the heat, so hey. No, I'm giving them everything, I'm living but I got up money, hey, I take this money, hey. My God, I'm allergic to poverty, it's poverty, so I'm using my sign to gather the poverty, say, okay, no time, like the Statue of Liberty. And nobody knows tomorrow, so I'll be holding my destiny. Hey, as if you said a tango, some people they bubble. I continue the struggle. Oh.
I actually find that amusing.
Yes.
Posted on X by one jobless boy. And when I say one jobless boy, that's his name on X, one jobless boy. And said, P-Square, come and see. Oh, they are fighting. You know the feud between the brothers. But let me quickly take reaction. Sume Jude says, one day they shout testimony and money up and down. You should also not be money jagaban go borrow, so he go come back, give us testimony. The president is in front, by the way. And Sammy says, is that who I think it is? Who is that? Okay, President Bola Tinubu with the cap. No, I think I was inserted there. That should be some graphics work there. The statistician says they are seriously fighting people that should be going for concerts, and that's Rude Boy and Mr. P. Owajin Nyamere says, at Rude Boy and Peter P. Square, that's Mr. P, we have seen your replacement. You guys can continue with the quarrels. So what do you think, Tokwe?
Well, I just think, who says that P Square is dead? Who says so? I think that some of these things are just a constant reminder of the fact that there is nothing that's happening between two people that cannot be resolved if you really set your heart to do it. I think this is another thing that should be a pride in their hearts when they see this and feel sorry for the fact that they went separate ways. They were putting a smile on people's faces and they were out there. I mean, that's someone in France singing, or even if he's not in France, that's, you said the person is a friend. And you know, all these things, I just feel that we should at least strive to resolve our fields. And I think that it's still one of our pride as
Nigeria to the world.
Yes.
I mean, they are singing our songs, dancing to our music everywhere.
I mean, did you see the vibe? He wasn't trying to put the vibe and the voice and all of that. It's beautiful to watch.
All right, that's the show this morning. Thank you for the ride and the journey so far. We could not have done without you, and that's why I always say thank you to our esteemed audience for all that you do and all that you are to us. Thank you so much, Okwe, for your time. I mean, it was a wonderful time for you on the show
to have me here.
And people, that's it for today and for this week. Have for yourself a fabulous weekend. Remember that problem not the finish. So have fun while you still can, and don't laugh without your teeth intact. My name is Eve Ohiola, signing out for Spring Friends.
Imagine a school where learning is fun and every child is empowered to succeed. Welcome to Full National Young Mind of passionate and authority link and all-round creativity, criticism, and the teacher student ratio of 1 to 10. Pay attention to each child. You can get advantage of our home away from home boarding house, in-house school clinic with qualified personalized with internet among others. Registration on Olabi Interview Primary 1 to 6 JSS and S classes. Amateur of our facility at number 1 Faith from Drive and that bypass in Road Ocean State. For inquiries, call 1-6-6-3-5-84796. Bishop Felix Owolabi International Academy. Make the most of life.
Turn it up! It's the Wild Wild West. And Western Spring Television is not all the stuff to make you won't miss out on 3 of the fun and happenings around you. Yup, we've got you covered because your girls got all the juiciest tidbits and entertainment news from around the world. Cross over to the chocolate side of entertainment. Join me, Chocolate Cassie, on Eccentric as we take you into every bit of the juiciest news, fashion, music, move dates, and other trending conversations. Together on the show, we'll get personal with your favorite cities via phone call, Zoom, or even live here in the studio. Eccentric will be showing you on Western Spring Television, channel 190.
James Ajibolaige was who obtained his first degree in classics from Nigeria's premier University of Ibadan. Born September 13, 1930, the orator and the polyglot spoke impeccable English, French, Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba languages. His fine diction placed him among classical orators and public speakers like Cicero, the Roman orator. This attribute earned him the prefix Cicero of Esauke. He authored Kanaboy, an autobiography, Didymus Diary, Constitution, and the People, among 6 other books. Bolaige was a politician, elected governor of Oyo State in 1979 and appointed a federal minister in 1919. He was a pioneer founder of Afenifere, the Yoruba social, cultural, and political group. He invested his political sagacity to propel the group to the height of political leadership and decision-making in the southwest of Nigeria. Bolaige was assassinated on the 23rd December 2001. His murderers are yet to be apprehended till today. Western Spring Television identifies Bolaige as a watershed character in history.
So now is the Wild West, and Western Spring is all the mega based on every happening around here. Here go you covered question girls got the juiciest tidbits and entertainment news from around the world. Cross over to the chocolatey side of entertainment. Join me, Chocolate Cassie, on Eccentric as we take you into every bit of the juiciest news, fashion, music, movie updates, and other trending conversations. Together on the show, we'll get personal with your favorite celebrities via phone call, Zoom, or even live here in the studio. Eccentric will be on channel 190 only at times.
And welcome. Yes, it's a very beautiful day that we bring you our usual production, pertinent questions. Today, we have in the studio a man who has seen it all in terms of power, not power shift, but electricity supply in our country. In the last couple of weeks, months, and years, if I would not be exaggerating, the collapse of the nation's national grid, I'm talking of electricity, has become very embarrassing, very frustrating, as you may want. In the last 10 months or 11 months of this outgoing year, power has collapsed repeatedly and repeatedly, to an extent that I have almost equated with it with the Abiku syndrome of coming and going repeatedly, as Professor put it in one of his earlier works. The thing is so worrisome that I have brought into the studio for this conversation a man who knows it, who has been part of it, who was with it. He's a retiree, but I do know that amongst the several metamorphoses that electricity namings have come out with in Nigeria, beginning from ECN to NEPA to Power Holding. If he was not part of them, he has read about them because he retired as the general manager, transmission company of Nigeria, TCN. I speak of no other person than the man who is sitting before me in the studio now, Engineer Niyi Oladele.
Thank you.
Engineer Oladele, you are most welcome.
How do you do, sir?
How do you do?
Thank you for having me, sir.
Yeah. You are an individual, a Nigerian. The challenges our electricity power supply system is undergoing, does it worry you? Does it disturb you? Even though you were an insider, but today you are off the hook.
I'm still part of them. As a retiree, I still claim former staff of TCN. Naturally, if you are an engineer that you train in the power sector, you'll be worried about the similar issue that is affecting the power sector. Just like I said in your intro, this regular and frequent collapse is not worrisome, and we are not too happy about it.
Not too happy about it. Well, thank God for that. I want us to use this 45 minutes of our production as a kind of a seminar for the man or woman who is a viewer at home, for them to learn one or two things. So, what is the national grid, if I must ask?
The national grid is nothing other than interconnection of the network from the producers to the consumer. In which case, some of us, what we believe about the so-called integration is from Kanji generating station that we are all used to, which is one of the GENCOs today.
Yeah.
The interconnection of that network from Kanji through to the transmission onto the disco to your house or to the consumer premises is what we call grid network.
Grid.
Yes, network.
How come it collapses every now and then?
And the network is segmented into what I call voltage levels. Voltage is not other than what we see, even in the studio now.
Yeah.
You are, without voltage, you can't be talking. Without the voltage, you cannot have this light. Without the voltage, even this microphone will not work. All of them are all connected. At the generating station in Nigeria today, most of them generate at about 11 kilovolts or 16 kilovolts. Mind you, I said, is the interconnection of the network into the consumer premises. From there, the thing is step up. And when it's given step up, you will be hearing about step up transformer or step up network. You'll be hearing it. It step up to about 132 or 330 kV. K is the voltage. From there, it comes down to 33. From there to 11 and 415. This grid that it is occurring frequently, it is classically the 330 kV network that we are referring to. The grid network tells us right from the generation onto that, and they are being carried by copper conductor. You will see them. If you step out of the studio now, you go towards a paper power line along the road, you see that station there. You see lattice structures carrying long conductor. Those are the grids that we talk about. Yeah. And anytime there's no supply on them, we call it collapse.
Why do these collapse? Why do they happen?
A lot of things.
Yes, I want to hear. I want to know about them.
One, if you see my we have what called generating company. I just Kanji, there is Jeba, they are all hydro stations. If you go down to the Benin area, you have the so-called Omotosho power station. Those ones, they are more of steam or gas. The first one I just mentioned, the Shiro, Kanji, and Jeba, the hydro. Now going to the east, they are gas powered, which are mainly from the NNPC gas. Now, all this one contributes, and they are being carried by the huge current carrying conductors into every nook and cranny of Nigeria. If anything should happen to any of those towers, which is the main problem we are having presently, you'll be hearing about vandalization. So when you have that kind of thing, you may have incident of collapse. That is one. Two, the power network, as we are discussing today, or the grid network as we today, is bedeviled with aged equipment. If you have any unforeseen situation and you have any of the equipment having issue, say for example, somebody is driving and maybe a trailer, a driver, and recklessly drove into the power structure. You have the conductor being snapped, that is nothing we see. So you have that kind of thing to cause it. And another thing is our network today is very weak. There is something we call N, capital N, minus one criteria, which is essential for stability.
Capital N.
N, capital N minus 1. That is for everything you are having. Say in the studio, for example, assuming you have only one transformer here. If that transformer has fault, you may have collapse in this network. But if you are able to have a standby, maybe it could be your generator at the case may be. So that criteria is made. It's like a family. When a family has one number of vehicles, it is assumed that you don't have vehicle. Because anytime that vehicle broke down, you must have something to rely on. So most of our network as of today, the N-1 criteria is not met, which is essential for stability.
Okay. If I got you, because this is a learning process.
Yes, sir.
The N should represent normal.
Yes, normal.
Minus 1.
1.
So already you are almost nowhere.
No, exactly. That is it.
Okay. Let's come a little home. We'll be going here and there. Of course, when I get there, I will have the question. You in one of your answers, you said something which I will draw your attention to again.
Sir.
You were general manager here in Osogbo.
I retired.
You retired. Yes. How do you call that place? Regional? Is it a regional center or what?
Yes.
Okay.
This regional center of the transmission network.
Okay. The regional center.
Yes. But then there is, if I can understand where you are going, here in Nigeria as of today, we have 10 of such regions.
Okay.
We call it all regional offices, headed by general manager. But in addition to that, we have what we call the National Control Center.
Okay.
Most often than not, people like me and you confuse this one.
Okay.
If we are going to Ikero, for example, now, the first place that we see this static structure, that one is part of Osogbo region. Okay. The second one, which is second gate, that one is the National Control.
Okay.
So the two of them are interwoven. Why this one is mainly of maintenance, installations, and design. The other one is principally for operation of the grid work. I will just say all the GENCOs. All the GENCOs contribute to the national grid. It is the National Control Center they do load dispatch.
Okay, so this center there in Osogbo, here in Osogbo, is a very, very
vital to the operation of TCN and the power sector in Nigeria.
Is it the only one?
For now, it is the only functional one.
Oh, functional one.
The other one in Shiroro is, they call it Supplementary National Control Center. As we are talking now, another one is coming up in Abuja.
Okay. Why Abuja? You can't answer that question. Okay.
For obvious reasons, you know.
Because you see, because we think.
Yes, for security, no doubt.
Yeah, you can still maintain security there. But I don't know, I'm not an engineer, but the founding fathers of electricity in Nigeria decided to put the control center in Osogbo many years ago.
That's
in the days of maybe ECN or NEPA.
Very correct.
That's about 50 years ago.
Yes. For a simple, obvious reason.
What was it?
That Osogbo is central to the grid.
Okay.
So you have generation from Kanji then.
Okay.
Mainly Kanji. Then later on Jeba. You have generation from Saple.
Okay.
Then later on you have to from Lagos. So Osogbo is central of the grid. Okay. So ideally, it is good for you to be in Osogbo.
I was thinking that it is high time engineers like you decided that this regionalization must also be spread so that Osogbo won't have too much load to carry. I mean, I'm speaking as a layman. I don't know whether it means something to you. If the power system, our federal government had established about 3 of these centers elsewhere, the weight that Osogbo center alone will carry would have been minimized.
I just said that as of today, we have Osogbo at the National Control Center. We have a supplementary one during Babangida that is Shiroro, and we have one coming up now.
People criticize Babangida for putting it in Shiroro.
That is why it was supplementary that time. In actual fact, we were all civil servants there, so there's a little we can say. I'm aware that some thought went on before the national. Okay, let us call it supplementary National Control Center. You will recall that in the 80s, 88, 89, there was collapse.
Yeah.
And some men of then defunct NEPA were jailed.
Okay.
That was the beginning of that issue, Shiroro. And that's about the time Shiroro was commissioned.
Yeah, given that, one would have thought that if these things are spread intel, not necessarily in Abuja, you put one in even if it is what used to be Kongola, today it's Adamawa and the other
Yobe.
Yeah, yes, you put them there. They can be feeding and feeding. I said I am not an engineer, but this is simple. It's not rocket science.
And that is what they are doing presently now. So we can see as of today there are three.
But you told me the only functional one.
Yeah, why this one is only functional one is this is where the grid is being dispatched.
Yeah, but yes,
this is where
the only functional. The others have collapsed.
In actual, no, if that is the interpretation, let me come back again, sir. The Oshogbo National Control Center is functional because the facility there, they are intact, even though they are being upgraded. The Abuja one is just coming up. The structure are just being put into place. For the Shiroro, Shiroro still layers to Oshogbo for the load dispatch. The beauty of having it 2 or 3 is anything can happen to the first one. Let this one be able to do it.
Yeah.
And that is the original idea of the Oshogbo. Continue to maintain your national control center. Shiroro is supplementary national control center. But now that we are having Abuja coming up, which is more modern technology.
So at the end of the day, Abuja will not be enjoying power and becomes the problem again. Everything in Abuja is centered there, and then when it collapses, the people in the states begin to suffer.
No.
Anyway,
that is not correct. as at today in Nigeria now, the bulk load is in Lagos. Lagos carry almost 70 or more than.
That's where you generate your money from.
That's where the main money is coming from. So the dispatch that they do, or the load allocation they do in SEC, take premium of that and notice that whatever is coming into the grid, certain percentage must go to Lagos. So even in Abuja, they still do the same thing because there's no need for you to say, okay, what is in Abuja? Abuja is just a federal capital territory. How many industries are there?
Nigerians hear of Gencos and discos.
Okay.
The days of music in the disco are gone. Else, the young men would have thought it is disco music. What are they? The Gencos, discos, and what have you?
That was the 2013-2012 reforms by Obasanjo. You just said it today. It was ECN in 1972. It translates to NEPA, National Electric Power Authority. By 2012-2013, that was the time Obasanjo said, let there be reform. And they now bring in a holding company that they call PHCN. It's just a holding company for them, which is Power Holding Company of Nigeria.
Which year was that?
2013-2012. That was the time. Now, about that time, the system was separated. Hitherto, it was one entity, one managing director, supply, oversees the whole network. All to just have his GM around. But the moment this one was with that act of parliament anyway, now you now have all the distribution company coming together to become disco. It's not as if they are the one dancing like when we were younger. And you have all the generating company coming together to become Gencos. The only one that is linked between them is the transmission. We are actually retired. Now, all the Gencos that were formed there were 6. And they were headed by a single entity, MD. In the same way, the discos were 11. And each of them were headed by MD. So you can see that instead of one single MD for the whole power sector, you now have many MDs. And transmission too has one MD. Because it's still a link between them.
The Gencos, do they still have the cluster of MDs?
Yes.
They have different
MDs. Yes. For example, now, the so-called Egbe power station that we are very familiar with in Lagos, though they don't bear that name again. I think they are now Savannah. Just know that Lagos. Me and you are very familiar with Omotosho, for example. We know that Adeleke manage. He is the chairman. So they have their own MD too. So same with the discos now. In the disco today now, here in the studio today and in Osun, we are lucky to be supplied by Ibadan Distribution Electricity Company, which we call IBEDC. And they have their headquarters in Capital Building on the Ring Road in Ibadan. They are headed by one MD. We equally have Benin Electric for Ondo and Ekiti. One MD is in charge of that one. We have the so-called Kano. We have Kaduna. Lagos, we have two of them, Eko Electric and Ikeja Electric. So each of them has MD, and they are on their own, independent. So they all got their supply from the national grid.
I asked you this question because I'm afraid if the answer you will give me. When the Gencos were being created, Nigerians had the feeling that they were not properly, they were not handed over to people who were capable, and that's why we are still in this power mess.
That is very correct.
It's very correct.
Because, Nigeria's situation is unfortunate. The union then fought against this. The government did not listen. As far as you are concerned, what do you want to? You want to see the paperwork? Here I am in Ibadan Electric. I must have technical partner. I must be able to get support from bank before I can sell it. And by the time the thing was sold, just like what the union said that time, the whole thing collapsed. All the technical partner was just a false thing.
Grapevine tells us that the powers that be sold these things
to the cronies.
Yes, not to people who had the capacity.
Yes, and that is why we are where we are today, especially in the discourse. A situation where you acquire a network, you are not improving on it. It is bad. Please mind you, the so-called power sector's infrastructures, as of today, is intensive, very expensive. There's none of those things that we produce in Nigeria. When you come to the disco, the only thing you can be thinking of today is electric pole or wooden poles. The so-called copper conductor, we don't have it. The transformer tank, we don't have it.
You mean we cannot produce?
We don't have company that does that.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and it is a massive infrastructure. Just like the studio now, most of the time I'm saying that you import there. Yeah. So, for us, we have gone a little bit to sleep.
We have overslept.
More than that, there could be a way of bringing all these things. By now, we should be able to produce distributed transformer in Nigeria. As for the transmission generation, it's even a different ball game entirely. The so-called generation we are talking about, the generator transformer, where are they bringing them from? This is not what you can just took off the shelf. For us to get a generator transformer, for example, or transmission where it belongs, it will take you average of a year. You will design it, you send it to them. They will now construct. You go and inspect that it meets the specification. They now ship it in.
So it takes a long time.
A longer time. By now, we expect Nigeria to have planned it. The Ajakuta Steel Rolling Company, is it functional? No. Even the one that we have in Osogbo, like Osogbo Steel Rolling, is it functional? No. All those ones say, if we ever go to the transmission network and see the kind of metal we are discussing, you know what I'm talking about.
When can we get out of this kind of wood? Successive administrations keep on being silent. What is responsible?
It's unfortunate that Nigeria government must do something. If we want to be hove to, we must learn to put the right person at the right place. Like this here.
Will our politicians accept that? Even in the National Assembly?
Why can't they do it? There are people we call technocrats in government.
Yes.
What is bad? Either you like it or not, there are some engineers too that are politicians. Let us take, for example, the Ministry of Works or the Federal Ministry of Works. When he was a former governor in Ebonyi State, we saw what he did in creation of a university, and we saw the road network. People like you who are politicians and technocrats could be brought in. I'm sorry to say, the power sector, if there must be a way, just like health, holistically, an electrical engineer should be the head.
But is it happening?
It's
right
not.
now?
It's not. You can count the sourcing government. Yeah. When was the last time we have electrical engineer in the power sector? We are discussing power. We are not saying civil. Neither we are. If it's civil mechanical, a little bit understand. So that is the issue. Now you are bringing lawyer because you think they are. You want to settle somebody, or you are bringing economists or accountant. Let us bring a technocrat, somebody who knows about it, and you see changes. Because here we are today. Now, you just mentioned something that, how is it? The way I understand your question is not the same way somebody is a professional. We say, when you will say, okay, this is what happened. But a professional knows about it. Like people like myself, who have served more than 32 years in the power sector, will be coming and telling me that, okay, your network is weak. Don't I know it is weak? I do.
God save this country.
Amen, my brother.
God save this country. We would sooner than later go on a short break.
Okay.
And come back. The momentum is gathering, and
God help Nigeria.
Yeah, God help Nigeria. Yes, let's complete the show. We will break it up and come back later to the studio, the control room. I think we can afford to break up the show right now, and we come back to it. Thank you very much. In the studio has been Engineer Niyi Ladele. He retired a couple of years ago as the general manager, 2020, that's 4 years ago, general manager, Oshogbo region of the Transmission Company of Nigeria. We will be back to talk to him and to talk with him again.
Thank you.
Nigeria still has some breathtaking natural areas and national parks. These forests and wild places help maintain healthy ecosystems, clean rivers, rainfall, and even the oxygen we breathe. But if we allow our wildlife to be poached and our forests to be cut illegally, we may lose this forever. So let's do the right thing. Tell your families and friends not to buy illegal bushmeat or illegal timber from our protected forests. It's time to save our wildlife and forests in order to protect our natural heritage. Keep them wild, keep us safe.
There's no other animal as courageous and majestic as the lion. But with only 50 lions left in Nigeria, there may soon just be a moment. When snares are used, we rob the lions of their food and risk maiming life. So please say no to illegal bushmeat and help protect the lions. Keep them wild and keep us safe.
In the studio with me is Engineer Adeniyi Oladiyi. Let me say Engineer Niyi Oladele. He has raised very fundamental issues that continue to remind us of the need for our dear country to put the round pegs in round holes. We're back for the second, and the trajectory resumes. Why has vandalization, engineer, why has it of power transmission facilities become so attractive?
Well,
to marauders, to...
there are two ways we can look at it. One, I just told you now that none of this infrastructure is being produced in Nigeria. So when you see somebody who's not well informed and you feel they want to make cheap money, you can see them disconnecting the lattice structure that carry the conductor. Some of them even went to the extent of even carrying it. Still, you can melt it and do a lot of things with it. All the electric structure is still. That's the one aspect of it. People want to make money. Another dangerous trend is sabotage.
That's professional sabotaging. It is they who know.
It may not be somebody who knows. It could be, like we said now, as of today, the government of the day is APC. Me and you know what is happening between APC and PDP. You can see the kind of talks that they engage themselves with. There's nothing to stop the opponent from sponsoring people who knows about it. So it might not, because this is massive. Imagine me as a retiree, how can I get sufficient money to do that? But somebody is wealthy and had it, like what is happening in the Northeast now, continuous vandalization of it is political. The one in the Southeast now, where you have them, the one going towards Port Harcourt and Bayelsa. I don't know if you hear about it, 132. They went ahead and fixed it. They went and vandalized it. So the vandalization is one. So economic reason because of people are not informed, because it's dangerous.
Yeah.
The second one too is just, we don't want you to have say. I'm aware that the one that happened in Shiroro, soldiers has to be there physically to outrun them. Too bad.
So how long can we be keeping these soldiers? Is there any means that we can use? Maybe technology can save us.
Of course.
If technology, because it is not
drones.
everything.
Drones could be used.
Why are we not using them?
In our days, we have helicopter patrolling line.
Okay.
When you have anything on the line, the helicopter are no more. It is really bad, my brother. It is really sorry, bad situation. No more helicopter. In those days now, you can deploy helicopter from Lagos, run through to the line to Benin, from Benin to Osogbo, from Osogbo to Jeba. They are no more existed. Drone could be used to see. And you will see all these people. But in Nigeria case, we know the solution that nobody will bet that. That's unfortunate.
I understand from my readings that currently there is only one line that is connecting the thermal stations in Sapele to Ughelli to Osogbo.
That is very correct.
It's correct.
Yes. This is the N-1 criteria I discussed earlier on. As of today, only one physical line structure, 330 kV, connect all the thermal stations to Osogbo, to Tama.
So if there is a break in that transmission,
yes,
the people in Ughelli and Co. Or what happens?
If there's a break in that transmission, like we said, over there you're having poor supply.
Okay.
That load will be negated. And before you know it, it translates to other areas. For example, here we are in the studio, maybe we have about 3 or 4 of us. We have 4 bread to share. And we can confidently take it to our cups and enjoy it. Suddenly, 2 of that bread were not there. Can the other 2 be okay for us?
No.
That is what is happening. So when you have that kind of situation, you have greed being collapsed. But assuming you have alternative, I'm aware that these days now, all the lines being constructed, minimally they are 2. You call it double circuit. But before now, it's only single circuit. Single circuit. Between Osogbo and Jeba, you have 3 of them. But the new one, and they are all double. So that if something happens to this one can sustain. In the same way, the transformer now, we are now making case for redundancy. And mind you, the generating system is a little bit different. The beauty of the power sector, if I can call it that way, I don't want to use the word bad, is this energy cannot be stopped. As you are generating, you must use it.
Yes.
That is the bad thing about it.
I was coming to that.
Assuming we know that, we now know that, okay, definitely we have to protect all our infrastructure. There is no need for us to be waiting not to have drone on our line. It should be 24 hours patrol. So if you see anybody that's doing it, then you delegate people to arrest the situation.
One of the reasons we don't have enough power supply is that we don't have where to store them, isn't it?
They are not stored. You cannot store the electricity.
No, what I'm saying, we produce, okay, or distribute, whatever it is.
Scientifically and in engineering wise, what you are producing, you must use in electricity. The only one you can store is the so-called, we call them direct current, DC, like the solar.
Yeah.
When you have your sun, you tap it to the solar panel. That's why you can store in a battery. So that later on the battery will now convert it. But when it comes to the alternating supply that me and you are used to, as you are doing it, you must use it. That is the principle of electricity.
But even what we have in store is not even enough for us to use.
That is it.
So you can't even store. I mean, you have not enough to eat. How can you
store in the first instance?
Well, there are several sources of power.
Oh, yes.
But Nigeria depends essentially on hydro.
And,
you just mentioned
and thermal steam.
You just mentioned. I didn't know much about the thermal you spoke of until you spoke about is it Ugeli and things like that.
That is now being sold to Elumelu. They are like commodity showcase. Is the Ugeli and the supplier has the capacity to generate using steam. The same steam, that is, you boil water, superheated, and you use it to dry turbine. You can equally use gas.
Gas.
The only difference between is the turbine blade are different. So you paint the gas on the turbine blade as it's rolling. The principle of energy is very easy. You must find a rotating structure, which is called rotor. And as it's cutting across our stator, electricity is produced. Very simple. You can equally use water on that to rotate, like we have a Kanji and a Shiroro. So we have a lot of sources of.
There is also wind.
Oh, there is wind. There is wind. That is the one that we would have expected the government to hinge on to in the north. You have the so-called, I just mentioned solar, sun, you have wind, you have hydro using water through a potential form. That is, for every hydro, you must have a dam. So if people say dam, so there must be a dam, like the so-called Kanji. The initial concept was Niger Dam Authority. It was later on that we can only generate that one. So it could be used for the irrigation purpose. A lot of things. Somewhere along there, some people just sleep, and it's really unfortunate.
If we have capacity for gas as a means of power, why do we keep on flaring?
It's part of the thing we are talking about. Government policy. Is it only for generation? What of our LPG for gas, domestic purpose? It is now we are waking up. So when we go to those the Niger Delta area, and you hear that we are flaring gas, you will just be wondering, what kind of country is this? What does it take us to use the technology to tap this gas for the benefit of generation, for the benefit of LPG and other things?
Today, we buy gas, cooking gas at 16,000 plus.
Yes.
If we had
25 kg, no, 12.5 kg.
If we had all these sources, I think it would be better for us. But again, it is in the box or in the space of the politician, because for 25 years now that we have been running civilian administration, that we keep on doing it the way the military did it is very unfortunate. Well, what are some of these challenges facing our inability to harness these resources?
It's so simple. Like we said, policy. Imagine yourself now, sir. The little I know about Mr. Smollett, you are a veteran in this industry. By way of contribution to the same, maybe your journalism and you are still very, very relevant.
Okay.
How many offshores in the power sector are being used now? Every time we are turning out people.
Experienced ones.
Bring these people, let them do some work. And that is one of the issues we're having. I've been to some studio. Rape is fine, no doubt. But then when you look at what is happening here, tap from the people like you. People coming can always learn from it. And that is one of the issues. Government policy is really not too good when it comes to that. I'm not trying to credit power sector. It is only in the power sector in Nigeria now you can see engineers working, especially in the transmission. See what happened. We used to have what they call Port Harcourt refinery. We used to have Kaduna refinery. We used to have Warri. We are day to day. But then we still have, no matter what, we still have this Osogbo, which was commissioned in 1968, still functional. We still have Ikeja West in Lagos, which is still functional. We still have Jeba. No doubt the equipment I'm aware along the line there's what they call retrofitting, upgrading, but the level is damn too low. The level is nothing to talk about. For example, when I joined the system in 1988, I got to Shugbo in 1991. We used to have 2 by 90 MVA transformer, 330 by 132 voltage. When you add that one, that is 90 plus 90 to make us 180. After today, I'm aware that a 300 MVA is being installed, not yet commissioned. By the time I was leaving 4.5 years ago, we have 150, 2 by 150 MVA transformer in that system. We have a 90 MVA in that system. When you add the 150 plus 150, that is 300. 390 by the time I was leaving. And I'm equally aware that now a 300 MVA is coming. So to make it about 690, but it's taking too long. That one is still happening in the past.